Journaling. Yes, this magic book, it has a way for you to unlock progress in your life one step at a time, one day at a time. So if you want to achieve your goals with very minimal action every day, stay with me. I'm going to teach you how. Hello everyone. I'm Justin. Welcome to the Strength, Yoga, and Freedom YouTube channel. Yes, this is the YouTube channel where we use the philosophy of yoga in a practical and everyday way, one small step at a time, so that we can become happier people. And we do that here on this YouTube channel in ways that are more physical, like doing the physical practice of yoga, physical journaling, meditation, all kinds of great stuff. I have all of that here on this channel. Like and subscribe to the channel for more of that, and go back and take a look at all of the playlists that are out there for you and free yoga classes you can take with me right here. But enough of that. We're talking about journaling today. And if you watched last week's video on journaling, I taught you 3 prompts that you can use with regards to how you feel. And when there's drama in your life, what can you do to maybe journal your way through that? And I want to talk quickly about that before we move into today's topic, because they go hand in hand. When we're talking about drama, we're not talking about drama as in drama that happens like on your favorite daytime soap opera. I'm talking about drama such as when people are in your life, or you, so either one, are operating from a place of trauma, meaning when there is something you're seeking, whether it's a love, whether it's something that's tangible, a new job like that, or maybe it's something even bigger, like a big goal. And when you have roadblocks that hit you or that hit other people, and when these roadblocks hit you, you don't know how to get out of it, so you start to operate from that trauma place, and you start controlling and manipulating situations and other people, lying, procrastinating, complaining. Okay, when all of that starts happening, that's drama. It's normal. It happens to us as human beings because we as human beings, we want to know that we always are going to go towards things that make us happy, but not everything is going to make us feel happy. Some things are going to happen to teach us a lesson, and that's what happens with drama. So we talked about drama and how to journal through some of that in the last video. And today we're going to talk about journaling for progress. So we're going to take the feeling part, all the stuff we've figured out with the feeling, and we're going to now move that into the actual physical. How do I actually physically attain or manifest, as you might call it, or put out an intention, okay? How do I do that in my journaling? Okay, so let's talk about that. Now, I use, as I mentioned in the last video, if you didn't watch that one, and this is your first one, that's okay. I use one of these small black journals. In fact, I have another one here ready to go. This is my favorite journal that I use. It's on Amazon. I will link it in the description below. So if you want to get one, they're very inexpensive. You can pick one up and have it shipped to you. They're so easy to use, and they're great to store, and they don't take up much space, and you have the little marker in them, so they're really great. Then they're lined as well. All right, so we're going to talk about progress and how we make the progress daily. So the first thing that I think is very important when you're going to talk about progress is figuring out how in the hell you are. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I mean, like when you get up in the morning and you're getting ready to do your morning journaling, if you do morning journaling, which I highly suggest you do journaling in the morning as part of your morning routine. If you do not have a morning routine, I highly suggest also that you create a morning routine like now, because when you create morning routines and you do the same thing every day, no matter whether you're at home, no matter whether you're traveling, you're visiting somebody else, morning routines will allow you to do the same thing every morning. And what that does is it helps you mentally feel like yourself. Does that make sense? Every day, okay? So you don't feel like you're waking up with all this overwhelm and chaos. You're waking up knowing, hey, I've put aside 20 minutes for myself this morning, or 30 minutes for myself, or 40. I like an hour. I do an hour That's what I need. You have to figure out what you need. Part of that, a big part of that is journaling. And one of the things we talk about, or I talk to myself about, I should say, is about progress. Where do I want my life to go? So not only do I journal out all the drama stuff that we talked about last week, but then I start to talk about this stuff, progress. And I talk to myself, the first question I ask is this, and I'm gonna ask it to you too, and you can even get your journal out now and start. How do you feel? Literally, like, how do you feel? Or what's going on with you? Now, this does not have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be flowery. It doesn't have to be, okay, well, I feel like crap today. And so because I feel like crap today, I'm just gonna go ahead and force the crap to go away, and I'm gonna just be positive. Okay, listen, this is your journal. This is a blank sheet, okay, blank. This isn't a work colleague you're bitching to. This isn't your neighbor that you're complaining to. This isn't your spouse or your children that you're complaining a lot to. Now, I want to say this. Your partner or your spouse or your best friend or whomever, those are really good people to have to vent to and to get out some of your frustrations. But when you are starting to complain to everyone and it's becoming a pattern, this magic empty page book is the way that stuff stops. And then you're not spreading drama out there. So it's so important. So the first question is, how are you? Don't be afraid. Write the word, I feel like shit today. I can't stand A, B, C, D, E, F, G. When this happens, it drives me nuts. Because what you're doing is you're taking how you feel, you're dumping it down on this paper, and it's not going anywhere. It's not gonna make someone else feel like they're not good enough. It's not gonna make you feel like you're not good enough. It's just the feelings, and you're dumping them on paper. It's important to understand how you feel before you can figure out what you want. So you might wake up every day and today might be that you might wake up every day and start writing every day. I feel like crap. I feel like crap. I feel like crap. Especially if you're not somebody who likes to wake up in the morning, because I don't like waking up in the morning. I'll write, I feel so tired today. And sometimes that's like that 6 days out of 7 for me on paper. Great. But then I don't go out in the world and complain about me being tired. Do you have that person that you work with or live with or visit often? And the first thing that they say to you, the first thing is, oh, I had such a busy day today at work. Oh, God, I drank too much last night and now I'm hungover. Do you have that person in your life? Get out the paper and start telling the paper why you're hungover. Get the paper out and start telling the paper. Because this is a way you're gonna connect to yourself on a much deeper level instead of worrying about complaining to everybody else. Because everybody else in your life is going to get tired of hearing you say that you're hungover every single day. Okay? Make sense? I'm saying this with love. We're trying to improve ourselves here. We're not trying to judge. We're trying to be happier people. All right. So number 1, how do you feel? You just write that out. Now, number 2 is, what do you want? That's right. What do you want? I have 6 things that I write down that I want every single day in my journal. And I'm going to share 2 of those with you right now. And I invite you to share what you feel like you can share publicly, because some things I'm not sharing with you publicly, and some things you're not going to share with us publicly. So if you want to share something, put it in the comments. If you don't, that's fine too. But I write down 6 things and I'll share 2 of them with you. The first thing I always write is, I want to be happy. And the second thing I write is, I want to be healthy. So because I write those every day, it's not wishing, it's not hoping, it's not, oh, well, my partner's going to come home from work and now I'll be happy. Yes, if your partner comes home from work, it is going to make you happier. But are you happy already before they come home? Are you happy with being with yourself when your partner has to take a business trip or goes out with their friends and you are home? Are you happy, or do you feel like you need to constantly control the situation and get your partner all set up so you can feel better about yourself? Because remember, people are not going to change for you. They're only going to change for themselves. This is the way you change for yourself and how you stop trying to change other people. So what is it that you want? You might want 3 things. You may change what you want every day. You may have 40 things that you want. And they don't have to be, I want to be happy. You might write down, I want that BMW, or I want to buy the house, or I want to go on this interview, or I want my medication filled. I mean, it could be anything. What do you want? When you write that down, it's powerful. So let's review. Number 1, how are you? How in the hell are you? And number 2, what do you want? The final prompt. This is the progress prompt. Ready? So what is one thing that you can do today that's going to bring you closer to that number 2, what you really want? Think about that. Think about that. What is one thing you can do today that is going to bring you closer to what you really want? So let's use an example. I said I want to be happy. Okay, so then what's one thing I can do today? 1, not 17, 1, right? What's one thing I can do today that's going to make me feel happy? Well, I could pet my new kitten, Dylan, who you have not met yet. You may meet him. He's not allowed in this room yet because, as you know, kittens like to get into everything. So he's not allowed in here just yet, but you'll meet little Dylan. So maybe me petting my new 4-month-old cat is something that's going to make me happy today. Maybe something that's going to make me happy today is going to my morning yoga class. And I don't mean teaching a yoga class, because I teach a lot of yoga, but I also practice a lot of yoga, and I need the exercise too. So is exercise something that's going to make you happy, even though it sucks when you're doing it? What about calling your friend? Is that going to make you happy today? And it's one thing. And there was a study done out of Harvard Business School. And you can look this up. It's out there. And it's called the Progress Principle. And they show all these examples of how people who write down an intention like that, and they do one thing towards that every day, see incredible results for happiness, productivity, stability, all of the, you can look it up. It's right out there for you. So check that out. And I use that in my journaling. A lot of other people use, you may hear this from a lot of other people if you listen to other podcasts or you watch YouTube videos. A lot of people out there who talk about, making self-help and making yourself feel better and those things, they use that in their journaling too. That's okay. You don't have to. But what I find has happened and what I have figured out is that when I write down one thing that makes me happy every day, you know what that does? It puts me first. Because how in the world can I help anyone else be happy, or create a video like this for you, or speak kind words to someone else, or create a community that's now helping each other out in this community to become happier? How can I do that if I'm not happy? If I'm miserable and making everyone around me miserable, or my focus is like that person who I told you about earlier in the video, who when you first see them, they walk in and, I'm so hungover. Is that the person you want to be? Is it? Or is it, hi, how are you? When you are in a good mental space. And what that also does, the progress principle, is if you have something that you're trying to achieve, like, for example, let's say you're trying to you're looking for a new job and you're trying to get your resume out. Listen, I don't know about you, but for me, thinking about doing a resume gives me so much anxiety. I can't even tell. Like, just to even say that out loud to you is like, oh God, resume. There's so much involved in that. And so I need the progress principle, and here's why I need it. Because I have to be able to do that in small steps. If I do it all at once, it is going to be so overwhelming. And I'm here to tell you that the research shows us, if you look at the research out there, that most of us get overwhelmed when we feel like we have to climb a big mountain to achieve this big goal. There are people out there that can power through big stuff. That's not the majority, though. The majority of us need to do small things to achieve bigger results. And you know how you can tell that that's true also? How many times have you yourself, or you have encountered other people who start something and don't finish it? Or they start an exercise routine and they fall off. Or they make New Year's resolutions and they don't stick to them. Or they start looking for a new job and they stop because doing the work to create the resume or putting it out there on your favorite website that lets you look for jobs, and they just, give up because they don't think anything's happening. They never give themselves any time. You know that's you, and you know people who do that. It's very common out there. So I'm not talking to those of you who, when something comes up, you can just immediately finish the task. If that's you, great. But for a lot of us, we can't do that. We need small steps. That's why it's important to have progress in your daily journal. And you know what else is cool? Is when you look back and you go, oh my gosh, I did pet Dylan for 3 or 4 minutes. And then, I did put that one load of laundry in the washer, one load. And so now I'm one load closer. Once you do that, my friends, it's not about laundry or petting sweet little Dylan anymore. It becomes about your life. It becomes about your dreams. Suddenly you are out there at your job and you're doing one extra thing that's going to help you get your promotion. Or it's one other thing you're doing in your marriage or your partnership that's making you closer. Or it's one other thing that you're doing in your house that's making it cleaner for spring cleaning. I don't know. But what happens is you know you can do it, so you keep going. That's the beauty of it. And so I had to share those with you in this journaling video today. And we have one more journaling video, which we're going to talk about next week in next week's episode. And I'm not going to hint on what that's going to be. It's a surprise. So set your notifications, hit the bell on here so you know when the next time the video is released, because it's going to be a good one. So get out your journals, get your journal prompts going right away. And I don't mean write R-I-G-H-T away. I mean W-R-I-T-E, write away and away, because it's endless and limitless for you. I'll see you in the next video, everybody.